Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video titled How Europe Killed My American Dream. I have no idea how Europe could do that. I've already known that, there's a lot of advantages living in Europe compared to the United States. We all know this, right? There's many, like most recently, there was a school shooting, right? And obviously, that's something that is pretty common in the United States, mass shooting, not just school shooting, mass shooting in general. So there are a lot of advantages to living in Europe. Not saying that Europe is perfect, but there's a lot of advantage. So let's find out what Buddy's talking about. And original link for the video that I'm checking out is going to be in the description. If you guys want to recommend any videos, click that link in the pinned comment section. You can recommend videos. I'll check them out as soon as possible. Without further ado, guys, let's go right into this video.
Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up, people? Hola, Vigosdad here. Welcome to another episode. Guys, what a beautiful sunny day. Look at that sun. I'm here in Pretoria, South Africa. Those apartments that you see there, that's where I live. And
wait,
today
he's in South Africa? Wait, wait, hold on. What? Hold on. Europe, but he just said South Africa. What's going on? Damn, that's what South Africa looks like. Shit,
welcome to another episode. Guys, what a beautiful sunny day. Look at that sun. I'm here in Pretoria, South Africa. Those apartments that you see there, that's where I live. And today, I want to do a different type of episode. I'm going to do kind of like a vlog style. I thought, hey, I almost never do vlog style of content, but I think this is a great opportunity to bring you guys along and talk about this subject, how Europe killed my American dream. So guys, this episode, I wanted to talk to you about it because I was reflecting on it, because I found some old pictures of my dad when he was living in the United States back in the 90s, and some older pictures also of myself and different trips that I did to the United States. And it got me thinking how much I really wanted to go to the United States. I was very fortunate to be able to visit many times from an early age, but I had this fascination with living in the United States. The culture. I used to play a lot of baseball, but before we talk about that, it's important that we talk about the importance, the relevance of American culture in all the different cultures of the world, especially during the 70s, 80s, 90s, and it was no different in the Dominican Republic. We had the TV shows from America, we had the products from America. I remember the first time that I got to drink Coca-Cola, I think it was Pepsi-Cola, in a can. It was such an abstract concept to me that I would only see on television. So ever since then, I was always very interested in not only exploring the culture, but exploring everything that the United States of America had to offer me. I've spoken about this with my wife plenty of times, and she tells me that it used to be very similar in Poland. She used to consume American media, American shows like Friends, all those shows that molded who we were as teenagers and as young adults. I used to be heavily into baseball, and the Dominican Republic is the biggest export of baseball talent to the Major League Baseball. And that's quite a remarkable thing if you take into consideration that our population is around 10 million. So I played a lot of baseball. I was a very big fan. And for a person that loves baseball, the United States is like the epitome. At that point, I had already visited. I think I was there for the first time when I was, I don't know, roughly like 8 or 9 years old. And it had music. You see, as a musician that I am, to me, discovering American bands such as Green Day, Metallica, Nirvana, Soundgarden, it was something truly magical. And I wanted to be there. I wanted to be in that reality. And I would spend days and nights daydreaming how my life would look like if I was living in this country. When I finished high school, I proceeded to go to university in Dominican Republic, and after I finished my graduate degree, I started thinking maybe this is my chance. Maybe if I have good grades, maybe if my parents can save enough, maybe if I get a student loan, I can manage to migrate to this place that I've been dreaming for so long. And I started looking. I looked very hard. I was looking for programs on the subject that I wanted to master, and I was looking for a scholarship. And to be honest, my dream got shattered pretty quickly, because for a 2-year master's degree in the University of Texas or something like that, I think I found 3 universities, you were looking at around $200,000.
Damn,
that was crazy money. It's crazy money right now. Imagine back then.
2 years, 200,000. So it's like 50 a p. That's crazy. Whew.
And this was the year 2003. So something important that happened was that precisely during that time, there was a very big...
Bro, I was 3. He talking about when I was 3. That crazy.
Influx of Dominican students going to Spain to do master degrees, because the prices were good, the programs were also high quality, and although it was not so easy to get a visa to go to Spain, it was still a lot easier than it was in the United States. So I had one of my best friends trying to convince me. He was talking to me how Spain was so awesome that I should go and I should see it, and I didn't want anything to do with Spain. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I just never saw myself living in Europe. That was not what I really wanted to do. We used to get one channel in Dominican cable from Spain, and it was Televisión Española, Spanish television, and it was the most old school content that you can ever see. I don't know, I just was not attracted to it whatsoever. Now that I've been living in Europe for such a long time, I can see that it was not so bad at all. And then something truly fascinating happened. I ran out of options. I could not go to the United States like I wanted. I just didn't have the money, I didn't have the means. So I had to look into the option of going to Spain. And in the year 2004, I enrolled in a master's degree in the Universidad Complutense de Madrid. And I landed in Madrid in October 2004. And I will tell you something, from that day on, my life was never the same.
Really?
It was unlike anything I thought. I knew geography, I knew history, but it's not the same to see it. It's not the same also to live it. I realized that it was a completely different world. They were modern, they had modern things, but they never abandoned.
You know what? Excuse me. He just said they had modern things and all this whatever. You know what's very, 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 very interesting? It's that when I first, knew about, a lot more countries in Europe, like, for example, Finland that I live in right now, I was like, thinking, okay, asking questions like, do they have this? Is Finland like this? Finland has this, blah, 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 blah. There are a lot of things that I've seen in Finland that are way more modern compared to the United States. And I'm talking about things that make your life easier, right? I don't know what is up with Finland and its efficiency, but it's quite an efficient country. I think, when you're dealing with like documents and stuff like that, it becomes so easy. Like, most things in Finland can be done online, and I mean it. It's actually a beautiful thing. So it's important to get out and actually see before you conclude something, because I definitely, at one point in my life, about 2019, I didn't know Finland existed, like, at all. I didn't know it existed. Estonia, none of them boys. Did I know Denmark existed? I probably didn't. I'm not sure. I did know Sweden. But most of these countries that are in Europe that I know commonly now, I didn't know they existed.
their history. They never abandoned their culture. So as I started living in Europe, my life just changed. Everything that I wanted, the culture, the music, the clothing, that the way people live their life in a way more relaxed manner. It was, I mean, not that Latinos were not relaxed. Dominican Republic has gotten very Americanized in the way that we approach work, you know, from Monday to Saturday. And there's
What
like
about
this
Sunday?
hectic vibe happening, and it's something that would surprise you because you'll never imagine that in a country where you have coconut trees and beaches and everything, there is anything other than, you know, constant holidays. But it's not the truth. So what happened was that I started traveling around Europe. When I was living there, I used the opportunity to visit other countries like Italy, like France, and I checked other cities in Spain, and they all had such a different vibe from each other. And that, you see, that is something that is truly magnificent about Europe. Everything, every little city, every little town has its own vibe. And I don't know if you cannot say the same about the United States, because each state has its own thing going on for it, but I don't think it's quite like Europe. They start getting used to the old pubs.
No. Coming from a guy who can give you real comparison, well, I'm not going to say I can give you the realest comparison. I do know a lot more about Europe, but I haven't traveled to Europe the way I have the United States. But comparing the United States to Europe, like state to state, Europe, country to country, it's a night and day difference. It is a night and day. Like you have Scandinavia region, right? And you still can find a lot of differences between those countries themselves, right? And those are the more similar ones. And then you go over there to like the west of Europe. Oh God, it's so different. Like you can identify different places in Europe based off of pictures, and they don't have to be a specific type of picture. You know, like you have a cathedral in Germany compared to a cathedral in Finland. You can literally distinctly, if you get two answers, this one is Finland, one is Germany. You can easily say, oh yeah, that's Germany, that's Finland. It's just crazy. Like Europe is very, very, very different country to country.
Architecture, the old infrastructure, and it didn't bother me anymore. I think that was a major moment in my American dream being shattered. I started thinking more and more about what it would be like to live in other places, in other cities, maybe other countries, people with different languages, different customs. I lived in Spain for a total amount of 4 years, and that was the moment in my life when I met Carolina, my wife. We met in the streets of Madrid, very random. I think we recorded an episode where we explained what happened. I'll try to find a link and put it here or up there. That was the beginning of the end for my dream of ever going to the United States. I made Europe my home, and there's nothing quite like it. So actually getting together and marrying a European had a massive impact in my dream. It was not that she didn't want it to. It was not that she prevented it, but she showed me another part of Europe that I had not discovered yet. Central Europe, Eastern Europe. And I learned about the people. I learned about so many things that I did not know existed just because I had the American perspective. And to be fair, I think it was the best thing. Today, I would never trade it. I would never change a single thing. I think today my life is much better, and that doesn't mean that living in the US is bad. As a matter of fact, I think it's fantastic. I just think that my life turned.
I agree with you, brother. Like, I could never say living in the United States is a terrible thing. It is not. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great blessing. However, living in Europe is also a great blessing. Like it's something that you have to have it to appreciate it. You won't understand how great Europe is until you actually live and digest. You got to digest it. You can't just come through and just, take all your expectations. You got to just come, no expectations, and just digest it. Get to live the culture, because there's one thing that you can predominantly say is common around Europe, and I would compare that to the U.S., and that's safety. The whole social programs, regarding school, healthcare, things like that. If I was ever a parent, it would be hard for me to actually say Europe is not where I would want my kids to be raised. Easy as that. It would be hard. It would be hard because I think it's a perfect place to raise a family, with all the necessities when you're thinking about, pushing that child in the right direction and to actually provide a great future for that child. To me, y'all can let me know what y'all think.
Out the way that it was supposed to turn out. And because of it, I am who I am. I wanted to go live in one country, and I ended up living in four. As I sit here and reflect about my American dream, I realized that having moved to Europe shattered that dream, but it did for a reason. And today, although I am a Latino and will always be a Latino, a very big part of my heart is a European too. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked.
I mean, Latino or Latina or Latina, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like, I think a lot of people probably just care so much about all this, identification. But at the end of the day, it's about what you sync with, if you know what I mean, synchronize. Like, it is what you sync with. Like, if I'm here and I'm in Finland and I leave Finland to go live in Portugal, but I sync better in Portugal, it's not that I hate Finland. It's just that, I sync better in Portugal. And if I sync better in Finland and not better in Germany, it's not that I hate Germany. It's that I sync better with Finland. So all this identifications just messes things up. Like, I'm a guy and I am better off around women. Like, yeah, you don't have to put the identifications in. You can just go around your people, enjoy life. You're going to die one day. You might as well enjoy, you know what I mean? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.